4 days, I will be hiking alone for 40 miles in the beating heart of Yellowstone National Park. This couldn't be a more intense, wild place for me to be. I am starting at the Lamar River Trail head, right in the heart of the Lamar, and 4 days from now, including today, I should finish up at the Pelican Valley Trail where my car is parked. Obviously, this is big game country. I've already done the thoroughfare, but man, if there's any place wilder in the United States than the thoroughfare, it's right here in the Lamar. Bison herds everywhere, been seeing them all day. Pronghorn, been seeing them all day. Herds of elk, been seeing them. There are grizzly bears here all over the place. Black bears, mountain lions, moose. There are packs of wolves up here. This is probably the best place in the world to see and hear wolves. I'm gonna get this going because I gotta get to camp before it gets dark. Let's go. Just a big herd of bison to start the trip. Not blocking the trail though, not yet. That's a good thing. Hiking here is different than hiking anywhere in the world. This is like, it's like the Serengeti. There's herds of animals. Looking around, there's just signs of animals absolutely everywhere. This is one wild experience. The number one thing that should usually be on your mind when you're out in a place like this specifically is grizzly bears. You have to make a lot of noise. You gotta make a lot of noise while you're hiking. You don't want to scare them. You don't want to surprise them. And also something to pay attention to is the wind. Right now the wind is blowing in my face. So anything in this direction would have a tough time smelling me. Anything behind me can smell me for miles. Some pronghorn off in the distance there. See these areas here, right up there, it's all over the place in Yellowstone. Bison will roll around in these areas, they'll lie down in it. Right now it's the rut. So their testosterone is flying and getting all dirty because they think that's attractive, and then they get up and they start yelling at the females. I think it's a good move. I'm thinking that's a badger den, hole, whatever. I know there are badgers in this area, a lot of them.
When you're not in Yellowstone?
New York City, just like this.
Oh,
I know, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Where are you staying tonight?
Cass Creek.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Coyote. Coyotes and wolves are arch enemies. They battle for position, they battle for food here. They hate each other so much that wolves will go in and wipe out the den that belongs to a coyote, and vice versa. Yellowstone used to be overrun with coyotes before the reintroduction of wolves in the 90s. Well, I have made it 3:01. We'll start unloading some of that weight, huh? First things first. Time to have this beer. Ooh. Not bad. What is bad is how warm this beer is. That's a very warm beer. Just like that, we get clean water. So I definitely want to thank everybody who helped get me here. It was totally a team effort. It took me 4 different groups of people for me to hitchhike with to get here from the Pelican Valley. So it took me a little over 4 hours, which wasn't bad. I gave myself enough time. I remember the first group was, they both currently live in Wyoming. And then a couple from Long Island. If you're watching this video, thank you so much, guys. The next couple was, you know, I didn't get their names, but I know the driver didn't. He just seemed to not speak English, but his girlfriend was speaking English. She was talking to me, and they were super nice. It looks like they were doing some fishing. Then I met these 2 guys up at Tower Junction area, and they took me down to Lamar. It was Ben and Mike. I know they looked into my channel, so thank you to all those people who helped get me to where I am today. So the big bummer going on right now is that there's still a fire ban. And I've said this in some of my other videos, that, you know, specifically when you're alone, a fire is like your only friend. It gives you a bit of a sense of comfort. So to not have that right now is kind of brutal when the sun goes down and, man, you know what's out here. I know what I just hiked through. I mean, I just hiked through the damn Serengeti, and I'm camped right in it. Every now and then I just keep doing a little bit of a shout, just to remind anything if it's nearby that I'm here, or to inform it that I'm here. Well, good morning. It's certainly not every day that you wake up to a huge herd of bison in your campsite. They're flocking this way. What movie? This is insane. I mean, my food pole is right there. right, so now they're in the food prep area. These are big animals to see outside your tent. Okay, there they go. There's the last one running out. They're all following each other. That was amazing. Now we have what looks like a deer coming down the hillside. I think she might have 2 fawns with her. Yep, looks like it. Kind of hard to see, but you can see, yep. So the smaller heads moving around underneath her. All right, well, the bison have cleared out. They were right here. The food pole's right behind the camera. And you can see these areas here, they were just coming up to these trees and rubbing against them. And so that's why all these trees are all marked up. Morning coffee in the Lamar Valley. It's the experience of just sitting in your campsite, having coffee, watching wild animals. I mean, I guess this is what it's like to backpack in the wildest place in America. If you're into wildlife, man, wow, this is it. All right, I've finally packed up camp. I have a huge day today. I'm gonna hike the entire Lamar River Trail and then take the Frost Lake Trail to my campsite. So I'm looking at maybe about 15 miles today. Gotta get things going. Let's do it. I just ran into a ranger who told me there was a grizzly sighting up in the Miller Creek area. I do have to ford Miller Creek at some point. I'm seeing elk tracks on the trail. Yellowstone used to be completely overrun with elk until the reintroduction of wolves in the 90s. Taking a quick break here for Sour Patch watermelon, a must. This is the junction with Miller Creek Trail, which is the area where that grizzly was seen. Hey buddy, hey buddy. Hey now. Coming through. All right, I'm taking my lunch break here at Miller Creek. I just looked at the map. Got about 8 more miles left to go. It's a good chunk to do when you're, 5 hours into your hike already. This wasn't necessarily supposed to be a solo trip. And by the way, I do not advocate to come hike in Yellowstone grizzly country solo. Just don't do it. There's supposed to be potentially Maggie here or potentially somebody else. Didn't work out, so it's me here alone, making a ton of noise. But yeah, don't hike in grizzly country alone. A grizzly got to that, looking for termites inside. I've reached kind of a cool, like dark forested section, at least on the other side of the river. But I think I still have 4 or 5 more miles to go, so gotta push. There's another one there. Likely coyote, I'm gonna say, because it's pretty small. I've seen wolf tracks and they're bigger than that. I'm taking a much needed break. I am beat. I'm beat. It's just so hot, man. It's probably close to 90 all day. All right, that is some fresh bear scat. Definitely fresh. I'm gonna have to make some noise and be extremely on alert here. Okay, there are the bear tracks. There do appear to be smaller ones with it, so this is likely a mama with cubs. I'm gonna guess grizzly by where the claws are in those prints. I certainly do not want to run into that right now. They're going the other way, and that could be a good thing that they've already passed me, but I am on red alert. Hey now, coming on through. Those bear prints, bear scat, give me a bit of a shot of adrenaline, I think. Okay, got a little turned around, but we're good. I think my frost lake turn off is right up here. And I'm just gonna filter some water and bring that into camp. I could use some cold water. The water I've been carrying all day is hot. Ain't nothing to it. That guy scared the crap out of me. I just walked right by him. He was dead silent. Okay, I finally made it to camp. And I am beat. This is also a really spooky area to camp. It's kind of sketchy. This whole last couple miles that I was just in just was like identical to me in the thoroughfare in terms of just how wild it was. Animal tracks everywhere, no boot tracks, just animal tracks. These bear poles are really high. I wonder if they had to make them higher. All right, so I've set the tent up there in like a batch of trees. Just want that safety, that protection. There's something about just being out in the open, exposed. I'm already so exposed, but you don't want to make yourself even more exposed. Because look at how exposed this area is. It's all meadows. And I know that this is as good a grizzly habitat as I've ever been in my life. So camp in the trees, it is. All right, so here's the plan the rest of the trip. Like I said, at the start of this, I parked my car at the Pelican Valley trailhead. Tomorrow, I'm heading up the Mist Creek Trail. I'm staying at Mist Creek Meadows. The day after that, I'll be hiking through the Pelican Valley. Now, the Pelican Valley is a bear management area, so you can only hike from 9 to 5. They have a lot of bear activity in there, and that is about a 12-mile day, and then out to my car, where I'll finish things up. But man, look at this. It is good to be alive. We'll see if I hear anything tonight. This is still prime wolf habitat. It would be pretty cool to hear a wolf howl. And it's just that first howl you hear, it's so unique, it's so different. It's different than a coyote. Coyotes yip, they have a high pitch to them. And there's been times where I heard coyotes where I'm like, oh, was that a wolf? I'm not really too sure. But then when you hear a wolf, there's no doubt. Once you hear it, you know it. It's like this low pitch, just solid sound that pierces the air. And then typically the entire wolf pack joins in after that. So it's pretty cool. Today was absolutely epic. Just gorgeous, 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 wild country. I kind of veered off and came way out in the middle of nowhere for this campsite, and it feels it. It feels it. This is remote country, and this is a spooky campsite. This is the end of a beautiful day here in Yellowstone. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning. It was a surprisingly quiet night. So I'm gonna have some coffee, break down camp, and then head to 3T2 Mist Creek Meadows. Just want to say something you need to do when you're out here backpacking in the national parks is you got to practice leave no trace, which means there shouldn't be any trace that you were ever here. You basically leave it cleaner than you found it. So time to get day 3 underway. Let's go. So my pack is definitely a hell of a lot lighter today, and that is great. My body also feels rejuvenated after just taking a break. Comparing how I feel now with the end of the hike yesterday is night and day. These willow tunnels are always the sketchiest places to hike. Grizzlies' favorite hangout. Hey now, hey now. Hey buddy. That was a bald eagle. That was cool. This is good cold water. So I just ran into a group of people, 3 people, who are in the middle of circumnavigating all of Yellowstone Park. So it's 45 days. They're on day 12. I think they resupply a few times like you would on like an AT through hike or something. But man, that's pretty badass. Man, I can hear my beating heart right now. I can hear it. And speaking of beating hearts, at the start of this trip, I referred to the Lamar Valley as the beating heart of Yellowstone, and it may be, but I meant to change that to the beating heart being the supermassive volcano that lies underneath this entire ecosystem that one day is going to kill us all. I have made it. My campsite here at 3T2, my final site, and it's a gorgeous one. This campsite sits up on like a hill overlooking this awesome meadow. Just perfect for wildlife viewing. There's definitely a ton of bear scat in and around this campsite. Luckily, none of it seems to be too fresh. Fire pit's been dug out as well. So this is definitely I don't know, an active grizzly area. And we are done. I love being out here, man. I love being this deep in the wild. This is just, it's a once in a lifetime feeling. Whatever's going on, wherever you live, and it's like that all just seems to fade away when you come out to a beautiful place like this, because it just feels timeless. It's here no matter what. It's the same no matter what. It's indifferent to your problems. I honestly think the key to happiness is nature. So I've been just hanging out here for a couple hours, looking out for wildlife. Haven't seen anything yet. This is an awesome, awesome campsite, an all-time campsite. It's got the epic view. It's got that super wild feeling. This is Yellowstone at its finest. How's it going? You staying at the next site? Yeah. It's pretty beautiful out here. Oh, it's just great. Thank you. She just shouted out my YouTube channel. That's a big REI guided trek. Looks like the group from the Lost World down there. Here's the fire pit, and yeah, you can see that it's been dug out here. So it's now the time when wildlife comes out. This is totally like my favorite thing to do. I'm absolutely a nature guy. First and foremost, a wildlife guy. You could see pronghorn. The cool thing about pronghorn, they're a type of antelope, right? They're the fastest land animal in North America, and they're like absurdly fast. And the reason why they're that fast is because they had adapted to run away from the North American cheetah, which no longer exists. So now it's just pronghorn here. Their speed is an unfair advantage. You know, in contrast to the second day where it was just like I was go, 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 go the whole time, this one was a lot more casual. 7 miles to get here. I got here early, and then I literally just sat here for like 7 hours just looking for wildlife. And for me, it's not about mileage. It's not about like how much can you bang out in a trip. I don't want to be trail running and just flying by everything. Like, what is the point of that? I want to take my time and take things in and connect with nature, connect with your surroundings. That's what this is all about. Today was great. I mean, basically the whole way I was following elk tracks. As soon as you get into the Mist Creek Meadows area, it becomes very, very wild. There was grizzly sign everywhere. There's grizzly sign all throughout this campsite. It's game trails everywhere. It's been cool. I've been watching that bison. This may be the end of day 3, unless anything crazy happens. Kind of hopefully it doesn't at this point. It's been a great day. Well, good morning and welcome to day 4. There was a deer lying down in the trees right at my bear pole. I spooked him, I guess. He spooked me. Alright, so I was just sitting here looking through the binoculars at the slopes on the other side, and I saw a grizzly with a cub just walking up the slope there, and then disappeared into a group of trees. That's pretty exciting. If I notice that they come out into a clearing, I'll see if I can really zoom in to try and get a shot, but I doubt it because they're so far. But wow, is that exciting. Alright, so, Jesus. This squirrel hates me. There he goes. Just can I just talk to the camera for a second? You don't need to. No. Alright. It's time to hit the trail and get day 4 underway. Let's do it. Hey now. Hey buddy. So I'm ascending up to Mist Creek Pass. That out there is that's Mist Creek Meadows where I camped. This is the view from the top of Mist Creek Pass. There's Yellowstone Lake out there. You can even see the Tetons way in the distance. Well, here's some bear scat on the trail, and doesn't look too old. Some more right there, so here we go. We got a bison blocking the trail. I'm gonna get out of his way. He's looking right at me. That was crazy. First of all, it's insane to be hiking through the woods and to just run into the biggest land animal in North America. It's just, you don't expect to see them, even though I've seen tons of them. Not like this, not that close. Then I got off the trail a little bit. Man, he just slowly walked on by, and then he even stopped right where I was and looked at me and then kept going. And the only reason that's kind of scary is those guys can charge. I'll tell you what, I was pretty close, but I had nowhere else to go. I went as far into the woods as I could. I just saw some fresh bear scat. So welcome to Pelican Valley, I guess. I have a grizzly in sight right now. There's a bison that I thought was a bear. I looked at the binoculars, through the binoculars, identified the bison, but then in back of him, there's a grizzly. So I'm gonna see if my camera will zoom in. I doubt it. So there's bison here in the front, but you can tell in the binoculars, can't zoom any further, that not that animal in the front, but in the back by the trees, that's a grizzly. You can see it much better in the binoculars. Walking through here, it felt like the open tundra of like Denali. I can totally understand why they don't want you hiking out here at dusk. These are the biggest meadows I've ever walked through in my life. This is living, man. I feel alive right now. That's what it's all about. That's why I come out here. Experience stuff like this. It's an adrenaline rush. It's beautiful. It's rejuvenating. This is as good as it gets. The way all these bison are running away from me, they must think I'm a wolf or something. I don't know why they would run. They never run. This guy up here sure is loud. That's awesome though. It's like the sound of the wild. I'm sure that these areas behind me, these forests that sit out on the overlooking, way up high, overlooking this entire expanse of meadow, would be where the wolves hang out, which would explain why why both those bison were so jumpy. One ran and then the other one saw him running and took off. It's probably because the wolves watch what's going on in the meadow from tree line in here. Wolves clearly took this thing apart. It usually turns into a battle once the animal's down between wolves and grizzlies, but wolves are the master hunters here. Oh my God, I just saw cars driving by. What a feeling. All right, that means trailhead's gotta be right up here. Wow, epic. All right, woo! I have made it in my car. It's still here. It worked. That's it. I made it 4 days, 40 miles alone through the heart of Yellowstone, the Lamar Valley, This was a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and I couldn't be more grateful to have an experience like this and to be able to come out and do something like this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Man, it's good to be alive.